At dinner, my fiancé's friends demanded I prove my worth by paying their $800 tab. My fiancé agreed. I said, okay. Then I stood up, walked to the bar, paid for my single drink, and left. The panicked voicemail I got from her 20 minutes later when she realized I was actually gone. I, 33 male? Well, I guess I'm a guy who just learned a $14,500 lesson. And all it cost me in the end was $18. I was engaged to Amelia, 30. We've been together for 4 years, engaged for 2 months. It felt right. I work in logistics. My job is literally to make sure things get from A to B logically and efficiently. She's in event planning, which in hindsight should have been a red flag. Her entire life is about aesthetics and the vibe. Her friends. Oh man, her friends. Talia, 30, Becca, 29, and Chloe, 30. They're a monolith of bottomless mimosas, designer knockoff handbags, and vocal fry. I was never good enough. Not in the he's a bad person way, but in the his car is 3 years old way. I tolerated them because I loved Amelia. The engagement ring wasn't an heirloom. I bought it after months of research. A 2.2-carat, oval-cut, lab-grown diamond. Flawless. She picked it out. I paid. My credit card, my account, $14,500. She loved it. Or at least she loved showing it to people. Last Friday night, Amelia said, "Babe, the girls are so excited. They want to take us out for a proper engagement celebration. Their treat, of course. We're going to Aperture." Aperture, of course. It's one of those new, painfully trendy places where the menu is just a list of ingredients, and every cocktail has smoke or foam. I am a beer and a burger guy. But their treat? Fine. We get there at 8 p.m. The place is loud, dark. The girls are already there, 3 martinis deep. "Leo, there he is!" Talia shrieks, air kissing the space next to my head. Amelia immediately gets swept up, ordering the same pink drink they all have. The dinner is a performance. They're ordering everything. We have to try the tuna crudo. Oh my god, oysters. 2 dozen. 2 bottles of the Sancerre and a round of espresso martinis with the oysters. Don't look at me like that, Leo. It's a vibe. I'm just sitting there, sipping one old-fashioned. I'm watching Amelia. She's not the woman I know. She's performing. Laughing too loud. Flashing her ring under the pin light like she's signaling a ship. I'm getting a bad feeling. Their treat part just felt wrong. After 2 hours of this, plates are cleared. They're all drunk, loud, and obnoxious. The waiter, who looks exhausted, drops the bill in the center of the table. No one moves. Then, Talia, with this slow, smug smile, slides the check directly in front of me. "So, Leo," she says, her voice suddenly serious. The other 2 stop talking and stare at me. It's a rehearsed, hostile silence. "Oh," I say, not touching the bill. "We've been talking," Talia continues, leaning in. "And we worry about Amelia. She's our girl. She deserves a certain kind of life, and you're, fine. But we need to know you're really going to provide for her. That you're worthy." I feel the blood drain from my face. I look at Amelia. This is her moment. Her moment to laugh and say, "Talia, shut up. What are you doing?" She doesn't. She giggles. A high-pitched, tipsy, nervous giggle. "Leo, don't be so serious," she says, patting my arm. "They're just teasing. But, they're not wrong. It is kind of tradition for the man to, show his appreciation." I stare at her. "Show my appreciation? For what?" Becca chimes in. "For us. For letting you into her life. We think you should prove your worth and pick this up. Show us you can handle her." My brain, the logistics part, is calculating. This isn't a joke. This is a shakedown. This is a test. I look down at the leather folder. I open it. Total, $844.60. For 5 people. On a dinner they invited me to as their treat. I look up at Amelia. Her eyes are bright, expectant. She's smiling. She's with them. She wants to see what I'll do. I suddenly see the next 40 years. Every vacation, every holiday, every dinner being tested, having my worth evaluated by these 3 harpies, with my wife smiling and egging them on. I close the bill folder. "Okay," I say. Talia's smile widens. Amelia squeezes my arm. "Yay, I knew you'd." I stand up. They all look at me, confused. "I'll be right back," I say. I walk away from the table, not toward the restroom, toward the bar. The waiter who served us is there, inputting an order. I flag him down. "Hey man, I was at that table," I say, pointing. "Table 12. "Yes, sir?" "I just had one old-fashioned. Can I pay for that separately? I've got to head out. Emergency at work." The waiter, bless his heart, is a pro. He sees the chaos at that table, looks at me and just gets it. Absolutely, sir. That'll be $18. I hand him a $20 in my debit card to pay in cash from the register, but he waves it off. Don't worry, I'll just run the card, it's faster. He runs my card. $18. I add a $5 tip on the handheld. Thank you, I say. Have a good night, sir, he says with a look that says, run. I walk straight past their table. I don't look at them. I hear Amelia say, Leo, where are you going? I don't break stride. I push open the heavy glass door, walk out into the cool night air, get in my car and drive. My phone is silent for exactly 20 minutes. I'm almost home when it lights up. Amelia, I let it ring and ring. It stops, a notification pops up, new voicemail. I park in my spot, turn off the engine, and play it. It's not angry, it's not confused, it's pure high-octane panic. Leo, where did you go? The waiter just came back and said, he said you only paid for your drink. Leo, the bill is still here. It's $796. Leo, this isn't funny. My card just got declined. My card was declined. Talia's was too. She says she doesn't get paid till next week. Leo, this isn't funny. They're saying they'll call the police if we don't pay. Call me back. You can't just leave me here. You did this. I listened to it twice. Then I turned off my phone, went inside my apartment, and poured myself a very large, very real drink. Update 1. It's been 48 hours. Wow. The entitlement is, it's a renewable resource. I'm not at home. I'm at my brother's place. The apartment is mine. My name is on the lease, my credit check, I pay 80% of the rent, and Amelia pays a token $500 contribution to me. It's my place. So here's the play-by-play after the voicemail. Friday night, 11 p.m., I went home. I was numb, but also weirdly clear-headed. The logistics part of my brain was fully engaged. This was a problem to be solved. I packed a duffel bag, work clothes for a week, toiletries, my laptop. I went to my desk, I found the file with all our important docs. I took the GIA certification papers and the receipt for the engagement ring. $14,500. Paid in full. By me. Then I left. Drove to my brother's. He was up. I just said, it's over with, Amelia. Can I crash? He nodded, got me a beer, and left me alone. Saturday. I turned my phone back on. It was a digital explosion. 30+ missed calls from Amelia, Talia, and Becca. A wall of texts. Amelia. I'm coming home now. You better be there. How could you abandon me? Talia had to call her dad, at midnight, to pay the bill. I have never been so humiliated in my entire life. We are fighting. Talia, from a number I didn't have. You are a pathetic, broke little boy. You just proved you're not a real man. Amelia deserves so much better, and I'm gonna make sure she gets it. Amelia, this is all your fault. You made me look like a fool in front of my friends. Leo, I'm at the apartment. Your car is gone. Where are you? Did you change the locks? I let her spiral for a bit. Then, around 9 a.m., I sent my first and only text. Amelia, I'm at my brother's. After your little test last night, it's clear we have fundamental differences in values. Your decision to side with your friends and attempt to humiliate me into paying an $800 bill was a deal breaker. We are done. The response was instant. Amelia, a deal breaker? Over a dinner bill? Leo, you are blowing this way out of proportion. I was drunk. They were joking. You are the one who embarrassed me. You made me look poor. I didn't reply. Then the real motive came out. Amelia, an hour later, fine, be mad, but I need to get into the apartment. My work laptop is there and I have a presentation on Monday, and I need money. My card still isn't working. You need to turn it back on. My car payment is due. I replied, the card you use is an authorized user card on my personal account. It was a card for my partner. You made it clear on Friday that you are no longer my partner. It is not being turned back on. The partnership is dissolved. Amelia, you can't do that. That's financial abuse. I'm calling the police. I have a right to my money. And she did it. She actually called the cops. Around 2 p.m., I get a call from a private number. It's a police officer. Sir, I'm here with a Miss Amelia. She's saying you've locked her out of her residence and cut off her access to money. I was calm. Officer, it is 100% my apartment. My name is the only one on the lease. Miss' last name is my ex-fiancée. She is not a tenant. She's welcome to retrieve her personal belongings. But I am not at the apartment, and I am not comfortable with her being there without me present. This is a civil matter. As for the money, she is referring to a credit card on my personal account, which I, as the primary account holder, have every right to deactivate. I heard him sigh through the phone. "Ma'am," he says, his voice muffled. "He's right. It's his lease. This is a civil dispute. We can't force entry. You need to arrange a time with him to get your things." I heard her start to wail. "But my laptop, my clothes." The call ended. Then the texts from Amelia got desperate, then cold, then, finally, fatally stupid. "You know what? Fine, keep your stupid apartment, keep your stupid money. You are a cold, petty, vindictive man, but I'm keeping the ring. You humiliated me. I deserve something for the 4 years I wasted on you. Consider it payment for emotional distress." I read that text, and I smiled. She just put it in writing. This was no longer a spat. This was theft. My response was methodical. Step 1. I called my insurance company. "Hello, I need to make a report. My engagement ring, valued at $14,500, has been stolen. I have the GIA certification and the original receipt. I know who has it. My ex-fiancée, Amelia. She is currently at her parents' address, I assume, and has admitted in a text message that she is keeping it and refuses to return it." The insurance agent, who sounded bored at first, suddenly became very interested. "She admitted it in writing, sir?" "Oh yes. We can definitely open a claim. We will be investigating this. Our legal department takes this very seriously." Step 2. I sent a final text to Amelia. "Me, Amelia, the engagement ring is a conditional gift given in contemplation of marriage. The condition is now void. Your text stating you are keeping the ring as payment is an admission of theft. I have already initiated a claim with my insurance company. They will be contacting you. You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, to return the ring to me in person. If you do not, I will be filing a full police report for felony theft, and the insurance company will proceed with their fraud investigation, which may involve criminal charges. This is not a negotiation. 5 p.m. tomorrow." I'm a strong woman. I deserve this. Bravado vanished like a fart in the wind. Amelia, theft? Insurance? You wouldn't. You're lying. That will ruin my life. They'll arrest me. Leo, please, this is insane. You're ruining my life over a stupid ring. I didn't reply. My phone went silent for a few hours. Then a new message. A DM. From Talia. "Talia, you're really threatening to put a woman in jail over a gift you gave her? You're the definition of a small, pathetic, insecure man. We're going to tell everyone what kind of monster you are." I just screenshotted it and sent it to my brother with the caption, "Monster, lol." The 5 p.m. deadline is tomorrow. The ball is in her court. Final update. Hey Reddit. It's over. The saga is finished, and I am still processing the sheer weapons-grade stupidity of it all. Here's the breakdown. The deadline, Sunday, 5 p.m. came and went. No text, no call, no Amelia. I sat at my brother's kitchen table looking at my phone. Part of me was sad. I really thought deep down she'd do the right thing, but she didn't. She called my bluff, so I acted. Sunday, 5 p.m. I called the non-emergency police line. I need to file a report for felony theft. I laid it all out. The ring's value, $14,500, the GIA cert number, my ex-fiancée's name, and crucially, a printout of the text message. I'm keeping the ring. I deserve something. The officer on the phone was all business. "Sir, an item of this value, with a written admission of intent to deprive you of it. Yes, that's felony theft. We will have a detective reach out to her." He gave me a case number. Sunday, 5:30 p.m. I called my insurance agent back. "Hi, it's Leo. The 5 p.m. deadline passed. She has not returned the ring. I have filed a police report. Here is the case number." The agent was, I can only describe, gleeful. Insurance companies hate paying out claims, but they love it when they have a clear, prosecutable party to go after to retrieve their money. "Thank you, Mr. My last name. Our legal team will take it from here. They will be in contact with Miss Amelia's last name shortly. You should be compensated for your loss, and we will pursue our asset." That phrase, pursue our asset, was chilling and satisfying. The fallout. The gravity of her situation didn't land on Amelia. She's too insulated by her own entitlement. It landed on her parents. Tuesday, 9 a.m. I'm at work trying to focus on a shipping manifest when my phone rings. An unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. The voicemail is from her father, Robert. I've always liked Robert. He's a no-nonsense, old-school guy, a retired engineer. He sounded furious, Leo, it's Robert, name. I just had a detective from the city police department call my house. My house, Leo, asking for Amelia. Something about a $14,000 ring you're claiming she stole. You need to call me, now. I called him back. Robert, hello? I assume Amelia told you what happened. She told me some damn nonsense about a dinner bill and you overreacting and being abusive. She failed to mention the police. Start from the beginning. Tell me the truth. So I did. I told him everything. The Their Treat invitation, the $814 bill, the Prove Your Worth test, her agreeing with them, me leaving, her texts, her demand to keep the ring as payment. There was dead silence on the line for a good 30 seconds. Then, a sigh so heavy it felt like it came from his shoes. Talia, he said, it wasn't a question. Yes, that girl has been poisoned since they were in high school. Leo, I am so sorry. My daughter, she's a fool. Weak, she lets those awful women think for her. This is humiliating. Robert, I don't want to ruin her. I just want the ring back. If I get it back, I'll drop the charges. I'll call off the insurance company. Oh, you'll get it, he said, his voice flat and cold. I am going to handle this. Tuesday, 3 p.m. My apartment intercom buzzes. It's Robert. I go down to the lobby. He's standing there looking 20 years older. He's holding the little velvet ring box. Amelia is in his car parked out front. I can see her. She's in the passenger seat staring at her lap sobbing. Leo, Robert says, handing me the box. I can't apologize enough. For her friends. It's not your fault, Robert, I said. She's not a bad person, he said, rubbing his face. But she's weak, and she's stupid. She pawned it, Leo. I recoiled. I physically took a step back. She what? She pawned it on Saturday. For $3,000, said she needed it to pay Talia's father back for the dinner because he was threatening Talia and to, I don't know, live on. My God, I had to go down to the pawn shop with the police report, he said, his voice shaking with anger. Show them the item was stolen property. It cost me $3,500 to get it back from them. She'll be paying me back until she's 40. He just looked at me. You're a good man, Leo. I love my daughter, but you dodged a bullet. He shook my head, turned and walked out. As he was getting in his car, Amelia bolted out of the passenger side. She ran up to me in the lobby, her face an absolute mess of streaked mascara and tears. Leo, please, it was a mistake. I was scared. I had no money. You drove me to it. I just looked at her, the woman I thought I was going to marry. You drove yourself there, Amelia. The moment you giggled and agreed with Talia, this was over. The pawn shop, that was just pathetic. So that's IT? She shrieked, and a neighbor peeked out of their door. 4 years? You're throwing our whole life away over money? No, I said, and I finally felt nothing, just tired. I'm throwing it away over character. You don't have any. Go home, Amelia. I turned, went to the elevator, and didn't look back. The aftermath. I called the detective. Charges dropped. I called the insurance company. Claim canceled. I arranged a time for her to get her stuff. I had my brother and his very large friend there. She came with her mom, who just glared at me. They packed her clothes and her 800 skincare products and left. Her laptop was there. I'm not a monster. And the friends? The cherry on top. My friend Mark, who knows Becca, gave me the epilogue. Talia's father, a prominent lawyer, was apoplectic that she dropped an $800+ bill on his card and then got his name involved in a potential police matter. He cut her off. Completely. Word is she's trying to sell her designer bags on Poshmark to make her rent. Becca and Chloe ghosted Talia. They're terrified of the drama and don't want to be associated with her, or, more likely, her empty wallet. So, I'm out $18 for an old-fashioned and $5 for the tip. I have a $14,500 ring that I can't even look at. I'll sell it. I'll take a loss. But it's a cheap price to pay for my future. Amelia is 30, unemployed. She was fired on Tuesday for a no-call, no-show on Monday during her pawnshop panic. $3,500 in debt to her very angry father, and has lost her fiancé, her ring, and her best friends. She wasn't a victim. She was a volunteer. They wanted to test my worth. Turns out, I was the only one in that room who had any. My fiancé declared, "I'm not signing a prenup. You should trust me." I replied, "I do trust you." Then I transferred all my assets to my mother's name. The lawyer's letter explaining it to her left her speechless. I, 29 male, am sitting here looking at what used to be my engagement ring, trying to process how spectacularly everything imploded over the last month. Met Sienna, 27, 2.5 years ago at a friend's barbecue. She was finishing her master's in communications, working part-time at a PR firm. I'm a software developer who got lucky, sold an app I developed in college to a tech company for $1.2 million when I was 24. After taxes and paying off student loans, I had about $750 left. Invested most of it, bought a modest condo, kept living like I was still making my regular salary. Sienna knew about the app sale from early on. Wasn't trying to hide it. She seemed cool about it, didn't suddenly become more interested or anything. We clicked naturally. She was ambitious, funny, had her own goals. I fell hard. Got engaged 6 months ago. She cried. I cried. It was beautiful. Started planning a modest wedding for next fall. Everything felt right. Then 3 weeks ago, I brought up the prenup. We were having dinner at her place, and I mentioned meeting with my lawyer to draft a simple prenuptial agreement. Nothing crazy, just protecting premarital assets and any inheritance. Everything earned during marriage would be split 50-50. Standard stuff. Her fork stopped halfway to her mouth. Sienna, a prenup? Seriously? Yeah, just basic protection for both of us. Your student loans stay yours, my premarital investments stay mine. Everything we build together is ours equally. She set her fork down. Her whole demeanor shifted. I can't believe you want a prenup. You should trust me. I do trust you. This isn't about trust, it's just smart planning. No, it's about you thinking I'm some gold digger who's after your money. I'm not signing a prenup, Nolan, period. If you loved me, if you trusted me, you wouldn't ask. Marriage is about faith in each other. The conversation spiraled from there. She cried, said I was breaking her heart, that I was choosing money over love. I tried explaining it protected both of us, that lots of couples do this. She wasn't having it. If you need a legal document to feel safe marrying me, then maybe we shouldn't get married, she said. I backed off, said we could talk more later. But something about her reaction bothered me. It wasn't just disappointment or hurt feelings. It was anger. Like I'd insulted her by even suggesting it. Spent the next few days thinking. Then I made a decision that would apparently change everything. I called my mom. Mom, Nolan, how's wedding planning? Me, hey mom, I need to talk to you about something, financial stuff. I explained the situation. Mom's a retired teacher, sharp as a tack, never liked drama. She listened quietly. So what are you thinking? Me, I want to transfer my investment accounts to your name, temporarily, just until I figure this out. That's a big decision, honey. I know, but if Sienna really isn't about the money, this shouldn't matter, right? We'll still have my salary, still build a life together. The assets will be protected either way. Mom agreed to help. Over the next week, I met with my financial advisor and lawyer, transferred my investment accounts and condo deed to my mother's name. Legally, I now owned basically nothing except my car, checking account with about $30K, and personal belongings. My $95K salary was good money, but the assets were gone. I figured if Sienna loved me for me, not my net worth, this would prove it. And I'd know for sure before walking down the aisle. I told her that night over dinner. So I've been thinking about what you said, about trust. Yeah, you're right, I do trust you, so I don't need the prenup anymore. She literally squealed. Jumped up, hugged me, covered my face in kisses. Really? Oh my God, baby, you don't know how happy this makes me. I knew you'd understand. This is what real love looks like. There's just one thing. I transferred my assets to my mom's name for estate planning purposes. Her financial advisor recommended it for tax reasons. The transformation was instant. She pulled back, face completely changed. You? What? Transferred the investments and property. It's all in mom's name now. But don't worry, we've still got my salary to build our future on. That's more than enough to start with, right? Silence. Long, cold silence. You gave your money to your mother? Technically, yes, but it doesn't change anything between us. It changes everything. That was supposed to be our future. Our security. I thought you said marriage was about faith in each other, not money? She stood up, shaking. I need to think. Left without another word. That was 4 days ago. Yesterday, I got the letter. Update 1. The letter came from a law firm I'd never heard of, Bradford and Associates. My hands were steady as I opened it, but my mind was racing. It was something else. Dear Mr. Morrison, we represent Miss Sienna Walsh in regard to your recent financial misconduct and fraudulent property transfers. Our client has brought to our attention that you have deliberately and maliciously dissipated marital assets in anticipation of marriage, constituting a breach of fiduciary duty to your fiancé. Despite your unmarried status, Miss Walsh has been operating under the promise and expectation of marriage, making significant life decisions based on your representations. Your transfer of substantial assets to circumvent equitable distribution represents bad faith and potential fraud. We demand 1. Immediate reversal of all asset transfers made within the last 30 days. 2. Full financial disclosure of all accounts, properties, and holdings. 3. Compensation for Miss Walsh's emotional distress and financial damages. 4. Payment of legal fees incurred before. If these demands are not met within 10 business days, we will pursue all available legal remedies, including but not limited to claims of fraudulent transfer, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and breach of promise to marry. Regards, J. Bradford-esque. I actually laughed. Out loud. Breach of promise to marry? What is this, 1890? Called my lawyer immediately. He was equally amused. This is nonsense, he said. You're not married. There are no marital assets. The transfers to your mother were legal, and breach of promise to marry? That's not even recognized in most states anymore. This is intimidation tactics. He drafted a response that basically said, no, the transfers were legal. We're not married. There are no marital assets. Have a nice day. But Sienna wasn't done. Oh no. That evening, she showed up at my condo, which I guess is technically my mom's condo now. I saw her through the doorbell camera looking like she'd been crying. Against my better judgment, I opened the door but kept the chain on. Sienna, baby, please, we need to talk. Got your lawyer's letter. Think that said everything. That wasn't my idea. My friend Mallory said I needed to protect myself after what you did. What I did? Transfer my own property? You tricked me. You said you didn't need a prenup because you trusted me. I don't need a prenup because I don't have any assets to protect anymore. She started crying harder. This isn't you, Nolan. Your mom is poisoning you against me. She never liked me. That was news to me. Mom had always been perfectly pleasant to Sienna. Sienna, just undo it. Transfer everything back and we can forget this happened. We can go to counseling, work through this. Me. Why does it matter? If you love me, why does it matter whose name is on the investments? Her face went hard again. Because it's our future. Those assets are supposed to support our family, our children. We can support a family on my salary. That's not the point. Then what is the point? She stared at me for a long moment. Then, the point is you lied to me. You said you trusted me, then immediately hid all your money. That's not trust, that's manipulation. Like threatening legal action isn't manipulation? She stormed off. But we weren't done, not even close. 3 days later, I got a call from my mom. Nolan, I just had the strangest visit. My stomach dropped. Sienna? And her mother. They showed up here trying to convince me to transfer the assets back to you. Her mother offered to mediate between us all. What did you tell them? That they needed to leave before I called the police for trespassing. Mom's a legend. But then things got really weird. That weekend, I started getting Facebook messages from Sienna's friends, all with the same theme. Hey, heard you and Sienna are having issues. She's really broken up. Maybe you should reconsider. Bro, just give her what she wants. Happy wife, happy life. You're being really unfair to her. She gave up so much for you. Gave up what exactly? We didn't even live together yet. The best message was from her friend Mallory, the lawyer friend. You realize what you did could be considered financial abuse, right? Hiding assets from a partner is a form of control. I responded, we're not married. Also, she refused a prenup that would have clearly outlined all assets. Also, please stop contacting me. Then Monday happened. I got to work to find an email from HR. Someone had sent an anonymous complaint about my unstable behavior and potential threats made against a coworker's friend. What coworker's friend? Then it hit me. Sienna's roommate Janine worked at my company, different department. I'd completely forgotten. The complaint was vague but suggested I'd been acting erratically and had made concerning statements about hiding money and avoiding legal obligations. Had to have a super fun meeting with HR explaining that I was going through a breakup and someone was trying to cause problems. Luckily, my manager backed me up, said my work had been normal. But still, the audacity. That night, I got one more text from Sienna. This isn't over. You think you're so smart, but you can't just steal what was supposed to be mine. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you really are. I forwarded it straight to my lawyer. Then I made myself a drink and started looking for a new apartment. Time to really start fresh. Update 2. Things escalated in ways I couldn't have imagined. Sienna went full nuclear. First, she started a blog. Yeah, a whole blog called When Prince Charming Turns Pauper, about her journey of betrayal. She didn't use my real name, called me Nathan, but anyone who knew us would recognize the story. Some highlights from her posts. He promised me the world, then hid it all away. How to recognize financial manipulation in relationships. When his mother becomes the other woman in your relationship. Red flags I ignored, a cautionary tale. The comments were wild. Random internet strangers calling me a manipulative abuser, saying she should sue me, offering their own stories of terrible exes. She was eating it up, responding to every comment with more details about our relationship. According to her blog, I'd isolated her from her support system. We hung out with her friends constantly. I'd made promises about our future to keep her trapped. I proposed, yes, that's typically how it works. I'd conspired with my mother to defraud her, legally transferred my own property. I'd shown signs of narcissistic personality disorder because I didn't cave to her demands. My favorite post was titled, The Prenup Trap, How He Used It Against Me. She wrote 2,000 words about how asking for a prenup was emotional abuse, but also not having one ready was financial abuse. Can't win with that logic. But the blog was just the appetizer. Remember Janine, her roommate who worked at my company? She started a whisper campaign. Nothing actionable, just enough to be annoying. People would give me weird looks in the break room. Conversations would stop when I walked by. Someone left a printed article about financial abuse in relationships on my desk. Then came the masterstroke of crazy. Sienna found out where I was moving. Small city, only so many apartment complexes, and she probably saw the moving truck. She applied to live in the same building. Not just the same building, the unit directly above mine. I found out when the property manager called me. Manager, Mr. Morrison? I have an unusual situation. Someone has applied for Unit 4B and listed you as a personal reference. A Miss Walsh? Me. Absolutely not. We're former partners going through a bad breakup. I cannot recommend her. I see. Thank you for your honesty. We'll take that into consideration. Thought that was the end of it. Nope. She had Mallory the lawyer friend send another letter, this time to the property management company, claiming I was maliciously interfering with Ms. Walsh's housing opportunities and threatening discrimination lawsuits. The property manager called me again, sounding tired. They're claiming you're harassing her by trying to prevent her from finding housing. Me, she's trying to move into my building, specifically above my unit. Manager, we're going to deny her application based on insufficient income and references. Nothing to do with you, officially. Dodged that bullet, but she wasn't done. Next, I started getting calls from wedding vendors. The venue, the caterer, the photographer, all calling to confirm cancellations and discuss refund policies. Except I hadn't called any of them. Sienna was canceling everything in my name, trying to stick me with cancellation fees. Each call went the same. Hi, Mr. Morrison, just confirming you want to cancel your booking. I haven't contacted you about canceling. Oh, we have an email here from your address. Someone is impersonating me. Please don't process any cancellations without verbal confirmation. She'd created a fake email address similar to mine and was sending cancellations. Most vendors were understanding once I explained, but the venue had already processed it and wanted a $2,000 cancellation fee. My lawyer had to get involved again. Then the real kicker. My mom called me laughing so hard she could barely speak. Mom, you're not going to believe what just happened. Me, what now? Sienna's father just called me. He wants to have a man-to-man talk with you about doing right by his daughter. You're kidding. Nope. He said, and I quote, "Real men take care of their women and don't play games with money." So I asked him why his daughter refused to sign a prenup if she wasn't interested in money. Me. What did he say? Mom, he hung up, but not before calling me a meddling witch. The next day, I got a LinkedIn notification. Sienna had endorsed me for skills like manipulation, deception, and financial abuse. Real professional. Screenshots went straight to the lawyer folder. But the universe has a sense of humor. While all this was happening, I got a call from my financial advisor. Advisor, Nolan, thought you should know that tech stock you bought 3 years ago? The company just got acquired. Your mom's portfolio just increased by about $400,000. The irony. The assets she was so desperate to get her hands on had just grown by more than I'd ever spent on our entire relationship, and she'd never see a penny of it. That night, I got one last text from her. "You're going to regret this when you're old and alone. No one will ever love you like I did." Replied, "Your version of love required a legal team. I'll take my chances." Blocked her number. Time to see what other crazies she had in store. Final update. The conclusion to this saga is more pathetic than dramatic, which honestly makes it perfect. After I blocked Sienna, she tried everything to get my attention. Created fake numbers to text me, had friends reach out, even sent a handwritten letter to my office. The letter was 12 pages of rambling about how I'd destroyed her ability to trust and stolen her dreams. Girl had a real gift for projection. But then karma came calling in the most mundane way possible. Remember that blog she started? When Prince Charming turned pauper? Well, someone at her PR firm found it. Turns out writing detailed blog posts about your personal life during work hours, using company computers, and discussing ongoing legal matters doesn't reflect well on a PR professional who's supposed to understand discretion and image management. She got fired, not for the blog itself, but for 1. Time theft, posting during work hours. 2. Using company resources for personal activities. 3. Bringing negative attention to the firm. Some clients had seen the blog. 4. Demonstrating poor judgment, inappropriate for client-facing roles. Found this out through LinkedIn when she suddenly updated her status to seeking new opportunities in PR/communications. The firing triggered a beautiful cascade of consequences. Without steady income, she couldn't qualify for the apartment she wanted, not mine, but another expensive place. Had to move back in with her parents. Couldn't afford her lawyer friend Mallory's continued services. Had to sell her Audi to pay bills, the one she leased but always called buying. Her blog pivoted from "Evil X stole my future" to "Rising from the ashes of adversity." The victim narrative shifted to empowerment. But the readership had already dropped off. Turns out people lose interest when the drama stops. Then came the twist I never saw coming. My mom called me last week. "Mom, you'll never guess who I ran into at Whole Foods. Please don't say Sienna. Roger Walsh, Sienna's father." Oh God, what happened? He apologized, genuinely, said he was embarrassed by the whole situation and that he'd raised her better than this. Seriously? He said after she moved back home, they found out she'd been living way beyond her means for years. Credit card debt, personal loans, the works. She'd been counting on your money to bail her out. The final piece of the puzzle clicked into place. It was never about trust or prenups or even marriage. It was about a financial rescue plan. He also said she's been doing this since college. There was another guy before you. Engagement, no prenup demand. Guy got suspicious and left. She told everyone he was abusive. I felt sick. How many red flags had I missed? The last update came from an unexpected source. Janine, her former roommate who worked at my company, asked to grab coffee. I almost said no, but curiosity won. "Janine, I owe you an apology. I helped spread those rumors about you at work." Yeah, I figured. I thought I was helping a friend, but after she got fired and moved out, I found some things. She had a whole notebook planning how to get access to your accounts after marriage. Like detailed plans, passwords she'd seen, investment statements she'd photographed, even notes about your mom being the main obstacle. Jesus. She was never going to sign a prenup. The whole outrage thing was calculated. She figured if she made a big enough deal, you'd cave. When you didn't, she lost it. I'm really sorry. I had no idea what she was capable of. I thanked her for the honesty. It helped, knowing I wasn't crazy for protecting myself. As for where things stand now, Sienna is still living with her parents, working part-time at a clothing store. Her blog hasn't been updated in 3 weeks. The legal threats all disappeared once she couldn't afford to pursue them. My assets remain safely with my mom, who jokes about charging me rent. I'm in therapy, working through the trust issues this whole mess created. Started casually dating someone new who actually insisted on paying for our first date. The funniest epilogue? Last week she posted on Instagram, yeah, I peeked one last time, about the importance of financial independence and how a real woman doesn't need a man's money. The comments were brutal. Someone actually linked to her old blog posts asking for clarification on her changed stance. She deleted her Instagram the next day. Looking back, the transfer to my mom was the best decision I ever made. Not because it protected my money, I would have been fine either way, but because it revealed who Sienna really was before I made the mistake of marrying her. The lawyer was right about one thing in that first letter. There was fraud happening, just not the kind they claimed. To anyone reading this, trust your gut. If someone really loves you, they'll respect reasonable boundaries. If they lose their mind over a standard legal document, run. And if they refuse to sign a prenup, maybe there's a reason they want unrestricted access to your assets. Also, shout out to my mom. She's the real MVP of this story. Already told her she's getting a killer Mother's Day gift this year. Maybe a vacation. Definitely not daughter-in-law named Sienna. That's all, folks. Thanks for following this insane journey. Remember, protect your assets, trust your instincts, and never underestimate the power of a good mom who takes no crap. Peace out.